Coyle here, webcasting today from my secret subterranean lair, rather than Mighty Fine Guitars, which is the normal spot. You know what, give me just 2 seconds here while I bounce this signal over to the Mighty Fine Guitars page as well. Apparently I'll be singing some Flemish folks tunes today. Nothing to worry about, just dryness. Let's see here. That was odd. Usually have screaming fast Wi-Fi here. Have we got you back? Let's try this. If this doesn't work, I'll try it again sometime. Let's make sure things are relatively focused. As focused as they get around here. Hi there. Stevie Coyle here, webcasting, strangely enough, not from Mighty Fine Guitars, which is closed because of the thing, that we're all experiencing here. Oh, I was going to do something here, wasn't I? I was going to bounce this over to the Mighty Fine Guitars page so those folks can take a gander too. I wanted to talk today about, hi there, somebody's, Dale Barcelos, Topher Gale, how are you guys? Nice to see you. And let's see if we can hang on to this signal. It's usually screaming hot. I'm a little concerned about that glitch there, but if need be, I'll wire in with Ethernet and try this again later. Dee-dum-dee-da. There we are. Sharing this with Mighty Fine Guitars. Do you know, today I thought instead of showing you a bunch of cool guitars, perhaps I could show you a couple of little ideas that I have. I'm doing a lot of online lessons, guitar lessons. And one of the first things I get people hip to is, let's see here. One of the things I do is describe a little system that I use. Instead of talking about the actual notes on the guitar, which is useful to a point, but so many guitar players, especially starting offers, start off with the idea that is correct, that instead of thinking in terms of piano, hang on a sec here, kids, I'm going to do something good here. Instead of starting off thinking in terms of notes and such, you can start off thinking in terms of positions on the neck. We all start off looking at those doggone graphs. That they look graphical. Little dots on a grid is what I'm talking about, the little chord stamps. And that is, that's extremely useful, but it gives you some strange ideas that I'll go into later. For the moment, what I'm talking about is the idea that instead of talking about a C note or the second string first fret, what I like to do is talk about that little position on the neck where your C note is on the B string, the second string first fret. I like to call that 21. And the first digit is always the string, and the second digit is always the fret. So you're just talking about strings and frets. So that little doodad right there, I'd call that 21. That's second string, first fret. The rest of the C chord would be a 42, fourth string, second fret, and fifth string, third fret. That's a 53. So in talking with folks online, rather than spending a lot of time saying it's this string at this fret, you can just use this little snappy little coil system. 21, 42, and 53, that's your basic first position C chord. How about that? What else did I want to tell you today? About the lessons. Yeah. I've got, I'm doing all my lessons have moved to online, and there's room for more. So if you need guitar lessons, and even beginners, I've had a number of comments. One is a number, isn't it? Asking, they said, well, no, you don't teach beginners, do you? I love working with beginners. You beginners do this cool thing that happens less and less frequently as you get more experienced. You folks make big jumps all of a sudden, and I take enormous vicarious pleasure in that. In seeing you suddenly, in a moment, jump from this level of guitarist to that level of guitarist. And it's a real kick in the pants. So if you're a beginner, by all means, give me a shout. We'll talk about it. Stevie@steviecoyle.com. You can contact me here. I do give guitar lessons. And this is what I always start people off with. A D chord, for example. Shall we review, kids? Class, shall we review? A D chord would be with your middle finger your flippy finger, a 12, a 1, 2, first string, second fret, always string fret, string fret, string fret. First string, second fret, then your ring finger would take a 23, second string, third fret, and your first finger would take a 32, third string, second fret. Snappy little system, don't you think? And there's the magic D chord right there. And now let me pop back, because I'm flying solo today. Let me pop back to the original page here and see what y'all's questions are, because I'm way too far away to read whatever's happening on that screen there. Hi there, I saw Dale and Topher were online. Who else is on here? Hi there, I saw Dale and Topher were online. And Jim Haverkamp, Margot Duane. Hi everybody, this is so cool to see all you folks online here with me. Very hip. Richard Montoya, I feel like Miss Nancy on Romper Room. And I see John Mooney and Topher and Margot and Kelly Kiernan Ray and Renee Mouse. John Wittenberg is watching. Holy smokes. It's a coffee clutch. What have you all got to drink? I've got some of Miss Valerie's fabulous tea. She won't tell me what's in it. Probably just as well. But it's awful good. It's kind of spicy. It's kind of sweet. It's quite fabulous. It's Miss Valerie's Ducky Blend. Peter Axtell is watching. Hi, Peter. Haven't seen you here in a long while. Very cool. I'll deal with the questions as much as I can. And in fact, this is a real coffee clutch. Because I don't have a lot of cool guitars to show you, I can show you my own guitar. This is my old hoss. This is my war horse that I've been playing for, oh golly, pardon me, 20 odd years. I got this guitar at Griffin when I worked there. It's a Thompson. It's a Ted Thompson. There are 3 Thompsons. This is Ted Thompson. There's T.J. Thompson. There's Preston Thompson. May he rest in peace. And there's Ted Thompson. This is a Ted Thompson. And guitars coming into Griffin at the time, when I was working on the sales team there, you just play everything. Just kind of get a vibe off of it, and sometimes change the strings and whatnot. And this was one of those guitars that just chose me, and I've been playing it ever since. I think I got this guitar in 99, 98, something like that. And I've had it refretted. Alan Perlman, thank you very much, did the refret job on this bad boy. And it's kind of surprising to me. I didn't think I'd like a cutaway, and I don't use it that much, just for some of the meedly stuff way up high. I thought at first I'd be able to perch a pint there, but it doesn't quite work. It's not an optimal angle. And it's I thought I was a mahogany guy. This is a rosewood guitar with a spruce top, Sitka spruce top. Nothing terribly fancy about it. It was a tremendous value. And I've just been playing the daylights out of it for years and years, out there on the road and here at home and everywhere else. Hi, Rod Brown. Michael Propsom is on. Fabulous builder. I got a couple of Propsoms in the shop, which is 0.6 of a mile from here, Google tells me, as the crow flies. But I'm not webcasting rather, from there today. I will be webcasting from there in weeks to come. I'll just take myself down there all by myself, hurting nobody, ain't hurting nobody, ain't hurting no one, as John Prine said. And I'll webcast from there and show you some cool guitars. Today, however, I'm at the lair, my secret subterranean lair. Nice cutaway, thank you very much. Brian Colner is watching. Fabulous 12-string player. Good heavens. Taya Gherkin is on there. Taya Gherkin is one of, if you don't know Taya, see, I told you this was going to be a coffee clutch with, strangely and sadly, me doing most of the talking. Taya Gherkin is one of the founders of Peghead Nation, and if you're not hip to them, get hip to them. Pegheadnation.com. Online instruction, reviews, commentary, it's kind of your one-stop shopping for cool online stuff. Some of the editorial staff from the previous editorial staff from Acoustic Guitar Magazine formed their own thing. And I actually give lessons over there as well, fingerstyle lessons that you can take at your leisure and for a fabulously inexpensive price. Pamela Joyce. Says I'm the Mr. Rogers of the guitar world. Well, thank you very much, boys and girls. Here I'll do you all an internet favor. If you aren't hip to Mr. Rogers interviews a bass player, as soon as you're done here, I was going to say run right over, but as soon as you're done here, YouTube that up. Quite hilarious. The story goes that that it might be Bill Murray playing one of the characters. The Mr. Rogers character is certainly Christopher Guest. Highly hilarious Mr. Rogers interviewing a bass player. Somebody else referred to me as Bob. What's his name? Bob, Brother Bob with the paintings, the happy little trees. I gotta beef up my macho. That's what I gotta do. What'll it take? I grew the beard. I think it just makes me look more like Aqualung. It didn't work exactly as planned. Well, Bill Brown is watching. Hi, Bill. Well, this is cool. If you got any questions or comments about lessons, about anything at all in the guitar world, if I don't know, I'll make something up, and it'll be really convincing. But if I don't know, I'll just refer you to somebody that might know. And I think that's kind of one of the things I do. If there's a thing I do, it's just I've been on the scene for so long. I know a whole lot of people. I might be able to put you in touch with somebody. If I don't know the answer, like I say, I can put you in touch with somebody who would know the answer to whatever question you might have. So fire away with the questions and comments, and I'll look forward to... Can you say guitar? I bet you can't. Why, yes. Bob Mokel, how are you, man? Oh my gosh, old college pals are showing up here online. The beard is quite fetching. It's very becoming. What is becoming? I don't know, but there it is. Gee, what an idea. Maybe I'll even actually play some guitar here. Is the sound okay? I've got a whole new setup here. It's all different. It's all strange and different. Haven't done this yet, but I'm going to be doing this a ton. In fact, before I play a little bit, I should tell you that I'm going to be playing a lot. I'm going to do a Facebook Live here sometime. I'm thinking probably Monday evening at 7 o'clock. This is such a rare opportunity after playing gigs for 40 years. Could that be me? Maybe that is me that's been playing gigs for 40 years. Or else there's a horrible clerical error somewhere. But after playing gigs for 40 years, Monday nights were always the down night. So I'm going to play some Monday night gigs. Monday night at 7 o'clock. Tune in right here. And I'll also be doing some shows over on Stage It. And of course, all of us that are doing this are putting out the old tip jar. And please do, if you can at all spare a little PayPal, a little Venmo, a little whatever you got, for the artists that are doing this online. Of course, like your gig, their gigs have evaporated. So anything you can put in their tip jar. If you don't have a Venmo account, that's a good way to go. PayPal, paypal.me is a way to go. I'm at PayPal, Stevie Coyle, can't go too far wrong. For Venmo, I'm Mighty Fine Guitars. But that's for shows later on. That's not for this. This is just us having coffee. But I'm going to be doing shows. And like I say, Monday night at 7 o'clock, I just made that decision now. At 7 o'clock, I'll be doing a Facebook Live right here. And we'll have some fun. More questions and comments? Sound is okay. Very good. Thank you, Patty. Better than okay sounds very good. Oh, my. Even through my Flemishness, it's my morning phlegm. And yes, kids, this is the crack of noon. This is morning for musicians. I tell you what, even though I've been getting up early to run down to the shop, I don't usually wake up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which reminds me again, run on over and hear that Mr. Rogers interview. Mr. Rogers interviews a bass player, and I think that's how you can find it on YouTube, and it is highly hilarious. Jeff Eubanks is watching. Hi, Jeffrey. Am I going to play the baritone on the wall? Well, considering I haven't tuned it up in weeks, maybe months, that might be kind of iffy, but maybe I will, sure. That's a Villette. That's, I'll tell you all about that at some point. Catching up here. Tony Vale is watching. Hiya, Tony. Jennifer Martin. Funny you don't look Flemish. I feel a little froggy. There we go. Just the cobwebs, morning cobwebs. Rick Edmiston. Any relation to Walker Edmiston? I have to ask. And I'm not even sure. That was a kids show host when I was a kid. I'm not even sure if it was Edmiston or Edmundston. Had to ask. I bet it's not the first time you've been asked, Rick. A folk singer earns every dime. That sounds like a song title, John Mooney. coffee house or a bar? Or would you rather get a job? I wish I knew the rest of that. I don't yet, but I will. Pat Donahue song. I'm waiting for a song to arrive. One hasn't arrived yet. Guitar's waking up too. This guitar is not, it's certainly not the greatest guitar I've ever played. I'll play that for you some week. It's right over here in the closet. Some week soon I'll play you the Alan Perlman guitar that I have, which is the greatest guitar I've ever played. And lucky me, I got it. I was able to purchase it after a while. It took a while, but I ended up purchasing it, and it is truly is my Holy Grail guitar. This is my Holy Grail stage guitar. It just plays and plays and plays, and stays in tune pretty good when it's not cold, like it is right now. What all guitars have you got? I saw that Peter Axtell has an Olson, which is lovely. Peter, is Olson actually building guitars anymore? That's a question I wanted to ask, because I've heard that he is not. I'm not totally savvy to it, so perhaps you could answer that question. Bill Paris is watching. John Mooney, it is a song title. Very good, which is why you capitalized it. Well done. A fellow Catholic school education boy, if I ever saw one. Capitalizes things. Last Steam Engine Train. Jennifer. Sure, I can riff through that a little bit. Bob Oswald is watching. Hey, Bob. Nice to see you in the virtual realms here. How are you? Charlie Simmons, Kenny Sultan. Kenny Sultan. Holy smokes. Great to see him. Great to see you. One of my faves. Let me put this down and do a little of that. See if I can stumble through that. Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. From Soho down to Brighton, I must have played them all. But I ain't seen anything like him in any all. Dern dicky dern dicky dern. Oh, that deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. Clap, 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 clap. Very fabulous. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me get back to your notes here and see what there are any muttered threats happening online here. Jimbo Scott, lovely. Jimbo Scott is doing some webcasts. Jimbo, let us know when you're playing next on Facebook Live here. I know he's doing this stuff. If you've got a webcast coming up, if you've got a Facebook Live coming up, or a Zoom, or what the hell am I talking about? I've never used these words before. If you've got a Zoom coming up, sounds proctological or lower intestinal somehow. Jimbo Scott is on. Jeff Stram, Ron Mason. Oh, Ron Mason. Get out your banjo, man. You know, this is one of the things I was wondering, is if now the time lag would be too much. There's always latency in these things. If people could get together on Zoom, which is more of a group platform than one guy blathering and other people typing. But yeah, Ron, play along by all means. Great to see him. My old boss from Marine World, California. Great fella, great fella. David Hilliards, have a Tom Bills and a Matt Mustapick baritone. Oh, cool, cool. Just had a Mustapick come through the shop. A fella snapped it up like that. It was a lovely guitar. Oh, thank you very much on the steam engine. Glad you liked it. Hi, Peggy. Peggy Braverman's on. Hello, Peggy. Hello there. Jennifer, my pleasure. My pleasure. Excellent. Jennifer, are you going to be doing any of these things? You going to be doing any sort of casting at all? That'd be cool. A great player. Thanks, Peter. Steven Schneider is on. Jimbo Scott is live this afternoon reviewing some old beers I found in his house. Oh, gosh. That's a great idea. Golly. I've got a box of old beers lying around somewhere that I thought, well, you know, these would be great for a party or something. I'll take these to a party. That's... I never did, and they're probably prehistoric at this point. You know, there's probably some Billy beer in there or something. Good heavens. Peter, I'm no longer in Marin. I live half a mile from my shop in Lafayette, California, just the other side of the Caldecott Tunnel. Jam play-along sites. John Heron, hip us to that if you've got half a second. If not, you can add it to just type something up, a place we can get to, a link perhaps we could get to. This is exactly what I want for a webcast like this, where I don't have tons of cool guitars to show you. Although maybe I'll try that baritone tail. Hang on tight. Is this kind of stuff, an exchange of information, and see who's got what kind of info and who needs what. This is fantastic. I will. I'll snag one of those strange beers while you're casting. What time are you going to be webcasting, Jimbo Scott? Jam it? Very good. That's a near occasion of sin for us Catholics to say that out loud, but it's all right. I'll say it again. Jam it. Janet. Billy beer. Yeah, you bet. You know, just for the heck of it, because I do have it here, I will play this other very strange guitar back here. I got this for a song, literally next to nothing. Years ago. It's a baritone guitar, which means it's extra long scale and really, really extra long scale and low strings. Wow, it's a whole different world. A whole new world. I'll see if I can tune it up. I'm not even sure tuner is going to snag this. Typically tuned. Oh yeah, it's reading that. Any of you with perfect pitch out there, I'm so sorry. This is, guitar is hell for people with perfect pitch anyway. Do you remember that advertisement of the goofy-looking kid in the flannel shirt and the very large front teeth? Telling you how wonderful it would be to have perfect pitch. The people I know that have perfect pitch say it is no blessing. And for guitars and guitarists, a dirty little secret, kids, a guitar is never completely in tune. Everywhere on the neck at the same time. There are people that attempt to do that with various fret placements and scale lengths and all the rest, but there's a whole lot of ear forgiveness goes on with guitar playing. There's in tune enough and there's out of tune, but it's never in tune everywhere perfectly at the same time. Can't be. this can't be. Can't be. So this is tuned, instead of E to E, this is B to B. That's a B string down there. And that's a B string up there. And these are actually quite wonderful baritone guitars. I have 2 of them in the shop, don't I? No, one of them is gone. I have baritone guitars in the shop. But they're wonderful for kindling new ideas. You play your usual stuff because all your regular chord shapes work, of course, which is kind of a freak out at first. If you can play something tuned this low and feeling this strange and have it sound like, sort of like what you intended it to sound like. Coyle rocks. Quite hilarious down there. Good heavens. Well, I think I'll bail out of that one before things go terribly haywire. So that's a baritone guitar. I've forgotten even the name on this. Avante? Is that it? Yes, Avante. Made by Joe Villette and somebody else. Maybe his name started with an A. And I've got a Baggs M1 in there, which sounds really good and huge when I plug this bad boy into a PA. back to your questions and comments. Bob Ross. Bob Ross is the guy I was thinking of, the Happy Little Trees guy. Somebody very kindly suggested I sound a bit like Mr. Rogers. I'll bust out my cardigans and everything. And somebody else a couple of weeks ago said, "You're the Bob Ross of the guitar playing world." And I smiled. Let's see. Is your original Blue mic system for sale? No, you know what? I have another Blue mic. I'm using the Blue Raspberry here. A few people have asked about this because apparently it sounds really good. I also have used, and I'm still hanging on to because of the way things plug in, and sometimes it's maximized elsewise. Excuse me, pardon me, coming through. I sometimes used the Blue Yeti mic, both fine USB mics, just a matter of connectivity. This one, the Raspberry that I'm using right now, which, let me see if I can sneak this up into the picture without making too many big loud noises. Excuse me. There it is. I'll put it back down very carefully and quietly. There we go. The cool thing about the Raspberry is I'm plugging right into my iPhone. It requires phantom power too, just like the Yeti, but this one takes it right out of the iPhone, whereas the Yeti, you have to get it out of the wall somehow. You have to dongle through and or hook it up to your computer and get full power out of a plugged-in computer. But if you want to use a pad of any sort or a little tiny USB mic like this, you need phantom power from somewhere. If you're going to use an iPad or an iPhone, you need phantom power from somewhere else, typically with the Yeti. With this one, it comes right out of the phone. Very cool. And $100 and some odd bucks. One of the best $100 I've ever spent. Let's see here. Hi, Peggy. Nice to see you. Let's see here. I'm way behind on my comments and questions. Very good. Jimbo Scott is going to be on 5 o'clock p.m. on 5 o'clock Pacific time, I'm quite sure, on the Jimbo Scott music page, Jimbo Scott music page, not the Jimbo, Gymbo, Scott, Scawt. Different. Ginger Paris, John DeLapp. Hi, John. Great builder. Great builder. I have a bunch of his wonderful guitars in the shop. Great guitars. 3 of them are on sale for $2,900. And I wish I could show you. I'll show you next week when I go back into the shop. Chris Rose is watching. Oh, Eric Bulmer is watching. Eric with his great concert series. Just back from Iceland. If reports on the Facebooks are correct, wonderful. Thank you, John Heron, for the link to jammer.net. Jam It is defunct. Jammer is one. Very good. Ivan Weinberg, how are you? Ivan, how's my old Loudon? Luke Hess is watching. Luke, how are you? Jim Haverking, sounds dark and foreboding. The microphone or me, perhaps. The baritone, I'm sure I'm that far behind. Michael Cudahy is watching. Subterranean, Michael McGrath. Very nice voice. Keep the moodiest for dark, subterranean, creepy music. Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what the... well, golly, maybe I'll go back to the old baritone and see if I can find something creepy to play. Probably minor key, eh? church on Sunday. Don't get on my knees to pray. I don't memorize the books of the Bible. I got my own special way. Well, I know that Jesus loves me, maybe just a little bit more. When I fall down on my knees every Sunday at Zarelda-Lee's candy store. It's got to be a chocolate Jesus to make me feel so good inside. Got to be a chocolate Jesus to keep me satisfied. Well, I don't want no Abba Zaba, don't want no almond joy. There ain't nothing better, more suitable for this boy. Well, the only thing that can pick me up better than a cup of gold, got to be a chocolate Jesus to satisfy my soul. When the weather gets rough and it's whiskey in the shade, best to wrap your Savior up in cellophane. He flows like the big muddy, but that's okay. Pour him over ice cream for a nice parfait. Well, it's got to be a chocolate Jesus that's good enough for me. Got to be a chocolate Jesus that's good enough for me. Don't sing this song in Florida. Oh, take my advice. I tried that just one time, and I don't mean to try it twice. Well, you can't get much darker or creepier than old Tom Waits, I don't think. And there was one of his, Chocolate Jesus. Amen. Hallelujah. Well, I think I've probably nattered on quite long enough. Let me check my notes here. And reiterate, Brian Deller, nice to see you. Ray Boyda, Tom Lucas, Suzanne Hall, Tom Scharf, all the kids are here. I'm only going to be on for another couple of minutes because I've noticed in posting these things to YouTube, which I have, I've downloaded them from Facebook and posted the backup on YouTube. Man, I go on and on. So here's your opportunity to go on and on. Please ask any questions, post any notices, and let us know what's shaking. What are you drinking? What's your beverage of choice right now? I've got Miss Valerie's Mystical Magical Mystery Tea. Greg Newland asking, still using the blue mic into the iPad for the broadcast? No. Instead of using the, well, yes, kind of. Here you go, Greg. This is the Blue Yeti that I used for a long time going into an iPad, which I think you saw. But now I'm using the Blue Raspberry mic directly into my iPhone 11 Pro. And the picture quality apparently is pretty good, and the sound quality is pretty good as well, and I'm very happy with this system. I think what I'll probably do is run the Ethernet back here so we don't have any interruptions. It looked to me like we might have had a little interruption there, but we'll find out later on. Charles Freeborn is watching. Great builder as well. Featured some of his guitars in the shop. Great stuff. Hi, Charles. This is terrific. Patrick Lawler. Good heavens. How are things back there in the Midwest? An old theater pal of mine. Terrific. Darby, all the way from Sweden? Wow, holy smokes. Nice. I think you win the farthest away prize. Anybody farther away than Sweden? And Milpitas doesn't count. Mason Harris, very good. Karen Cross. Karen, say hello to himself, would you? All right, very good. Topher and Hugh and John and Jeff and Billy and Susie and Cubby and Annette and Darlene. Darlene, whoa. J.D. Miller is watching. Great host for house concerts up in the Northwest. Folks, we can't do house concerts right now. We can't do venues of any sort, of course. I'm telling you nothing you don't already know. But what you might not know is that there are lots of people doing virtual house concerts from their spare bedrooms, from wherever they are. And tune them in, please. Almost everybody has got a Venmo and or a PayPal link. Find those, please. And just a couple of bucks from a lot of people can really add up and help musicians, and gigging musicians in particular, make it through these tough times. That's a great thing to do. And it'll be time for you Catholics and lapsed Catholics. That'll be time off your purgatory. I'm almost certain. I'm going to check that out with a priest friend of mine, but I think that's true. Yes, and John Heron, check it out here. John Heron points to a website, a Facebook site, not a website as such, a Facebook site that lists lots of performances going on. Arden Eaton features a page. This might be that very page. Hi, Mark Moreland. Nice to see you. Bo Russell from Florida. Bo, are you still in Florida? Or did you move to Arizona or someplace like that? I forget. Are you getting a mirror image there? Are you getting something backwards? That's interesting. Dale, let me know, because this is the first time I've used this camera, and I wonder if there's a way to switch it and to flip it. Beats me. Well, all right, kids. I'm going to finish up. I'll play one more and kind of finish up and encourage you all to tune in Monday night. I'll put this in the list down there of comments. Monday night at 7 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. I'm going to do a little webcast from California here, and please do tune in. That'll be a Facebook Live like this, but I'll be playing a whole lot of music instead of nattering on so much. And I'll be doing a Stage It show as well. You take a look for some of your favorite artists on Patreon, on Stage It, STAGIT, great platform that I've used for on and off for years and years, and I'm back with them. So stay tuned, stay safe, take no chances. It's not worth it, and hug your nears and dears close, and lovely to see you all. Let me play one more little extra music here, and do feel free to continue the chat down below here. No reason just because the chat has ended that you can't continue conversations that you've started with people on this. That's the great thing about these Facebook Live things, is that they persist on the Facebook. They stick around. You don't lose them. It's not Stage It, on the other hand. The instant you're done with your show, that show has evaporated. It's not been archived anywhere. But I've got these Facebook Live shows, both here and on the Mighty Fine Guitars page, going back years and years. So by all means, feel free to tune in if you need more random musings. Even I can't stand it. Give me one moment to tune. Oh my gosh, my molars were breaking. There's the culprit. Yeah, it's the doggone D string. Now where was I? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Fabulous to see you all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for chatting it up. Please continue the chat once the webcast ceases. And I'll look forward to seeing you hopefully Monday night, 7 o'clock here on Facebook on this page. And I think I can bounce this. Yeah, I'll bounce this over to the Mighty Fine Guitars page as well. Maybe even the Stevie Coyle Music page. But look for me here Monday night at 7 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. And we'll do a little webcast. I'll play a whole lot more music. And I'll look forward to seeing you down the road. Safe travels, everybody.